Hi, this is How to Get Your Shit Together with me, Sue Wright. Now, in theory, I should apologise for not putting any podcasts out there for the last goodness knows how many weeks. I say weeks, it's probably months. But I'm not going to, because that is part of this podcast, is the fact that etiquette says that I should apologise for not giving you all some new podcasts. However, life has been pretty crappity and busy, and something had to give. And it's recognising that actually you're only human, and sometimes you have to drop things by the wayside for a while in order just to carry on going. So the podcast and a lot of my other social media were things that I had to drop, because life since I lost the horses in September has been not unravelling, because unravelling sounds negative. It's been unfurling. And by that I mean things that I thought were important are no longer important. Things that I spent a lot of energy on, I've realised weren't really important again. And, life is just unfurling, and I'm at that point now where I've made some huge decisions, and I'm stepping boldly forth to, I'm going to say action them, but that's not really the right term, and I'll explain in a sec. Because what I've done is I've changed everything. I've changed my work, I've changed my home, I've changed just literally everything is changing. I made those decisions that they weren't right for me, and they were no longer working for me, and they weren't what I wanted to be doing. So everything is changing. Like I say, everything is pretty much up in the air. It's as if somebody has lit a fuse on a confetti bomb, and it's gone off, and all the bits are up in the air, and I don't know where they're going to land. And a lot of people close to me struggle with that. They really struggle with the fact that I don't have a plan. And the thing is, when you haven't got a fucking clue on what you want to do, how can you plan? I have a vague idea of what I want in my life. I have a very strong idea of what I don't want in my life anymore, or how I want my life to look. So I have been very brave, possibly stupid. Some people think so. But I've just assessed everything, gone through it, systematically, logically, with my head screwed on, and just made these changes. Now, as life moves forwards, I don't really have a firm plan. Like I say, I've got an idea. And like I say, people don't like that. I have had to kind of concoct a little bit of a plan to appease people around me. But it is just a vague possibility. It's certainly not cast in stone. So how did I get to this point? I did what I do every time I'm feeling of being unsettled, just uncertain, not quite right with the world, is I sit down with a big bit of paper and I write down key areas in my life. So like home, work, family, fun, things like that, and just mark them out of 10. So home got a big fat 2 out of 10. Family and friends got a big 2 out of 10. Work was a tricky one, because I do enjoy the ride of biomechanics. However, my injury meant that I wasn't able to deal with it, so I couldn't do it. So that had to get a kind of medium score. And then the coaching side of things, I don't do enough of it because the biomechanics was taking over. So it's just sitting down and kind of going through what you want out of life and where you currently are, and then deciding what can be changed. Now, I was quite lucky in some respects that I could change quite a lot. And by change, what I meant was get rid of the negative side of things. So as a next exercise, you've gone through these things and given it a score. The next thing I did was actually write the positives and negatives. Now, I could get rid of the negatives. The positives were a little bit hazy, but by getting rid of the negative side, the positives are starting to come to the fore a little bit. Like home, I have no idea where I want to be. Okay, so I have a big motorhome, big RV, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, I have a roof over my head and I can decide where I want to be. Does that make sense? So I can go anywhere. I don't think I'd like to fly it across to the States or Canada because that would cost a fortune, but I can go pretty much anywhere. I have a roof over my head, I have somewhere to sleep, I have somewhere to cook, I have somewhere to wash. So that is that side of things. So can you see, I've got a bit of a plan. You know, I have a solution, but it's not what everybody would deem perfect. But who gives a rat's arse what other people think? It's what I need in my life at the minute, and it is what's going to work for me. Okay, I may hate it, who knows? But, you know, I have a roof, I have somewhere to put my head down. So that's home. Family, again, relationships and things. You know, you've got to acknowledge when things are working, things are not working. Family, I don't see enough of them. People need me, people, you know, I want to be part of my nieces and nephews' lives. So again, I'm going to spend some time with my youngest nephew and my sister. So, you know, so I have a vague plan, but like I say, the work aspect of it is the biggie. You know, that is, I have given up my income stream. It's as simple as that. The biomechanics was my main income stream. However, I had an arm injury, I don't know if I said, and I've had surgery last week, and I just can't do it. End of story. So I had to make a huge decision to get rid of a very vital piece of equipment and get rid of it. And he's gone, and now it is kind of launching myself forward. So again, I've got rid of the things that were giving me grief, that were giving me stress, giving me worry. So the financial aspect of renting premises, you know, the rental of the big biomechanics horse thing that I was using, I've got rid of that because that's got rid of the stress, which has given me a little bit more freedom to move forwards. So again, if I haven't got a clue where that move forward is going to be. Is it going to be monetizing podcasts, monetizing YouTube channels? Maybe, who knows? I haven't really got a plan, but I know what I don't want. So when you haven't got a clue, or as I've called this, when you haven't got an effing clue, it's look at what you can change now, get rid of the things that are dragging you down, making you miserable, causing you stress. So like I say, the financial aspect of renting premises and paying for this machine that I was barely using because I couldn't use it, the sensible thing is to get rid of it. Now, what's filling its place? No fucking idea. But, you know, that's got rid of the negativity. It's freed me up. So am I feeling a bit lost and uncertain? Yeah, some days I do. But am I feeling better than before I made all the decisions? God, yeah. Absolutely. Have I got a plan? Kind of, maybe, sort of. But it doesn't matter. You know, I have freed myself as best I can from financial constraints, which has given me a little bit of a impetus to move forward. Now, I'm not going to be naive about it. I have got financial responsibilities. I have got things I need to pay for. I have, luckily, got skills I can fall back on. Is it stuff I really want to do? Sort of. You know, there's the clinical Pilates. I enjoy that. Again, injury, surgery is going to take a little bit of time. Coaching side, love it. Absolutely love it. Courses, love them as well. So, you know, I have got stuff I can fall back on. So now I've freed myself of all the stress of the home and the financial responsibilities of other stuff. Now I have the energy to move forwards. But again, the energy to move forwards today, I'll be brutally honest with you, I've hit a bit of a wall because I have been, over the last 2 months, zooming to do things. So clearing getting rid of selling the riding simulator, moving house, packing stuff up. In the midst of all that, I get word about my surgery. So I've got to fast forward everything. So I had, you know, literally deadline after deadline to get to the point of going in for the operation. Then I was in for the operation and I've had a few days of feeling absolutely awful with general anaesthetics and pain. And today, for some reason, early hours of this morning, I woke up and thought, do you know what? I just feel a bit overwhelmed by it all. So my way of dealing with it is actually to deal with it. It's not to try and fix myself. It's to just acknowledge that today I'm feeling physically unwell and in pain because of the general anaesthetic and the surgery. I'm feeling mentally and emotionally overwhelmed by all of the stuff that I've had going on. It's literally as if I've been flat out running and then all of a sudden banged headfirst into a wall and I'm sitting in a bit of a daze. But that's the thing, I'm not trying to fix myself at this point in time. I need to just sit and acknowledge it. So when you're making big changes and you've had deadlines to meet and you've kind of been running headlong doing everything, expect and accept that you're going to have days where all of a sudden it comes to kick you up the arse and you're just going to feel like hell on earth. And don't worry about it. Yeah, don't try and overanalyze it, think you need to do something about it. Part of the process is dealing with the emotional aftermath, if you like. Like I say, I've had some huge decisions. I've done some big, probably some people say silly things over the last few months, but I know it's right. And now I need to work through and process the emotions, if you like, and the physicality of it. Because like I say, I've been on 100% for the last goodness knows how many months. And now I've kind of hit that wall and now I need to sit back. You know, I've had a few days of really snoozing a lot because of the surgery, because general anaesthetics and I don't mix. But now it's a bit more than that. Now it's actually all of the other stuff catching up. So after this, I am going to go and sit my butt on the sofa with a cup of tea and I'm going to chill and I'm going to do some energy work because I think doing energy work, mindfulness, meditation, as well as planning and kind of, doing some mental preparation for the weeks and months ahead are all great. And then I'm going to do some Pilates because I've been in a fixed position for the last week and that's taking a toll. So that mental, physical and energetic, mental, physical and energetic, they all tie in. And if one's out of kilter, the others will start to play up. So I'm going to do more on that on my next podcast. But in the meantime, like I say, if you're making big changes, you will hit a point like I have today where it all just seems like it's just too much. That's fine. Just sit and be with that. Don't get swallowed into it. Don't try and fix yourself. Don't let anybody else try and fix you. But just kind of sit and go, actually, do you know what? I haven't got a clue and that is okay. I'm exhausted and that is okay. I'm overwhelmed and that is okay. And just sit with it for a day or two and then start to do positive things to move yourself forward. So for me, it's what time is it at the minute? It's 9:30 in the morning and I've been up mulling this over since 5 o'clock this morning. So I've had some hours of sitting, kind of just going through it, doing some meditation, doing some chakra work. Now I'm coming out of it. I've got a little bit of a plan. I'm not going to push myself. Sitting here recording podcasts isn't really exhausting, but I'm going to do it because it's a step forward. So hope that waffling was helpful after all those weeks of absence. I am going to do something different today, and on the links on the podcast, I am going to put a PayPal me link. So all of these podcasts and things, they take time to do. Like I say, at the minute I've got a few, I've got my coaching clients and some courses, but I would love this to be a bit of an income stream. So if you felt that it's benefited you and you could spare 50p, 50 cents, whatever you fancy, then I've put the PayPal me link in, and I would really, really appreciate it if you could give it a click. And like I say, it doesn't have to be even a dollar or a pound, just a tiny amount would be fab. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and I promise I will be back very soon.